Hey everybody! I hopefully you don't mind. I took a few moments to fix myself a nice pour over cup of coffee. Um, I'm a minute late, so hopefully back on a minute on the end there. Nobody will be the wiser. Yeah, coffee plus I guess a little pumpkin spice maybe. Oh goodness, it's that time of year again. Can you not hear me? My microphone is covered, and I'm worried that nobody can hear me at all. Hello. But yeah, it's that time of year where, for me, like pumpkin and nutmeg and cinnamon kind of invade everything, which is a nice time of year, I suppose. I mean, I would eat pumpkin pie like year long, like if it was available, but I'm glad that it's here, and I guess maybe it's more potent that it doesn't last. Cool. So for confirmation that they can hear and that there is a doggo visible above my shoulder. Cool. All right, enough of that jibber jabber. Let's switch over to here and talk about what I'm doing. So, hey, I am Joshua. Today is November 7th, 2017. And this is a Delver bonus stream, or my Delver week daily stream, however you want to think about it. For those of you who might not know, Delver is a procedural dungeon crawler with fantasy first-person shooter and roguelike elements. Yeah, a little bit of this, a little bit of that, you know. Delver is a passion project. There are two of us working on it in our free time, our spare time, time that we take away from family and friends, because we love this project. We think it's a cool thing. We hope you do too, and we are working to make it the best thing that we can. We've been working on it 4 or 5 years now. We are on Steam Early Access, so if you'd like to purchase it and support us, that is a direct way to support us. We are releasing soon, so the price right now is $7.99. It will, I guess, temporarily bump up to $9.99, and it may go higher. We're still discussing that. Also, there's a Humble widget if that's your jam. You get a Steam key with the Humble widget because right now the Humble build is old. It is several years old at this point in time. And we will, I guess, to answer this question, we will be updating our other platforms, which include Humble and Android, when we release the Steam final version, which is really close, which we are just putting the finishing touches on. There are a few pieces of art that I need to finish up, which is what this stream is about. It's just my pushing and getting this done. But yeah, so once that final version is out, we will update our Humble and Android builds. We'd love to get an iOS build out, but that's a future Joshua and Cutting in problem. For some reason, I combined our names, Joshua and Chad, into Judd, and that's not it. Yeah. So let me think. What else? I think that's the general spiel. Let's just yeah. It's delvergame.com. That's the website. I'm not sure if I was clear about that earlier. Hey, chat. Thank you for popping in. Let's go jump to the repository. iOS build because it's a platform that potentially we could, you know, like it would be one, the framework we get is like we get it out of the box, so it's very little work for us to do, and it's another place where we could potentially sell our game. Oh, did I not commit my unique asset changes? Let's just commit those real quick. Uh-oh, git pull. Chad's been doing work. And again, the statement iOS is useless is not constructive, so please refrain from I don't know, talk that doesn't forward the conversation, I suppose. Clear, good status. QHPic says, what am I using? Yeah, this is Commander. Git push. Let's just take a quick peek at what Chad's been working on, I guess. Unique art, unique. Ooh, so Chad's working on tweaking the um, shows unique stats. He tweaked the bow shows mod text now, which is cool. Wiring up unique wand 1. Ooh, let's see what he wired up to unique wand 1. I'm excited about that. Commander is just a command shell replacement. I'm my top window here. I'm running bash, and down here I am running just command. I also use msys as well, so my environment is fairly Linuxy. Commander just runs multiple. It can run multiple command line environments. But I use msys2 bash for the top window if you want specifics. That was all. Yeah, you can use bash on Windows 10, but I'm already using msys and MinGW, so I'm using that. I think there may have been some problems with some of the. I can't remember if IRC ran on Windows Bash or not. But let's do desktop. Fire up the old 360 controller. Let's play a little bit of Delver for folks who haven't seen it, and we can also test out the new wand, see what it's all about. He's the little doggo's still here. MinGW. Yep. How do you say it? Okay. Any plans or implementing? Implementing an option screen while in game. I don't think so. I am not sure. That'd be a Chad question. You mentioned it in the Discord. I guess maybe maybe I haven't been paying attention to my Discord as much as I should. Let me scan that real quick. Yeah, console talk. I guess I missed it. I'm sorry. Yeah, so some words mean different things. So MinGW is short for minimized new something. Yeah, minimalist new for Windows. I roughly recall watching the Mighty Boosh, and I think they said something about Minji, but I think that it's inappropriate. Bluestone says we need 2 more buttons in the game: an options button in the pause menu and a quit button that closes the game in the main menu. Those are excellent suggestions. What was I gonna do? Let's put the focus back here. I want uniques, and wand 1 is the Demon Horn Staff. Ooh, hello. So what are the stats on this again? It looks like 20 charges, 2 to 4 magic damage, +1 speed, +4 health, and +2 defense. Oh my goodness. Oh, that's lovely. Oh man, Chad, this is nice. I almost want to do just a slight variant on maybe the texture for that. Yeah. Again, uniques, Demon Horn Staff. Yeah, like maybe the trail on that should be more fire-like and less lightning bolty, but that's okay. That should be an easy fix. Yeah, it's just it's a sprite that has its axis aligned to be orthogonal to the view, um, and then does its best to face the camera. So it's just one big long stretched sprite. Hey Simon, thanks for popping in. Cool. Can a wand be melee if it is out of spells? You can throw it like any other junk object, and it will do a minimal amount of damage. So let's take a look at, I think, items.dat. Let's look at the, what do you call it, the demon horn staff. And I think he didn't, like, because he implemented the spell system, he knows it way better than me, and he came up with a really cool, it's just a spell with a beam spell with a beam scale. Let's look at beam. Beam scale. Beams have to have a. Can I add? Let me go. I think if I go to the editor, I think I can just manually add a beam object just in the editor, and I can fiddle with the properties there. Maybe. Let's try that. I think sprite beam is sort of right. So then we have a beam render mode, which is cross versus line. Okay. You can see how it is behaving like it's trying to orient itself towards camera, but by also maintaining its axis orthogonal to my view. Is it just simply setting the text? So I think, is it from sprites? Just the vanilla sprite sheet? Yup, it looks like it. Books, skulls, and cups are indeed junk. Yep. No, we've tried to design Delver to be a very Spartan experience, so if you don't have a direct use for something, you don't feel bad about pitching it. Okay, so I think if I do a right click and do to JSON, it should show what properties are being set here. Yeah, so I just need to set the text and the sprite atlas. So if I do that, let's see how it behaves. So this should be on the demon horn staff. And the spell is a beam spell, which is different than this is a beam, which is spells. If I went into here and said something like this.text, it does not like that. I might have to set the drawable up myself. I've always been a light theme person. This drawable. Beam projectile. Interesting. That's a way to set the I doubt you'll go blind. Projectile. So we actually created a projectile, a beam projectile. And a beam projectile is of type projectile, which is of type entity. The beam projectile, does it have a text? I think yes, it takes a text property, which we are defaulting to just text 10. So if I open up, say, pixel edit and take a look at my file, import, tiled image, assets, rights, open, sure. If I hit tab, that's the only reason I did this. So yeah, it's using, what? 10, that doesn't seem right. texture 10. Our type is sprite. Bubble beam. This text equals start text. Oh wait, start text and int text. So yeah, so we're passing 10 to the constructor, but we're not ever using it. This dot text, I think, yeah, it just gets set to start text. So that's kind of interesting. Yeah, I use pixel edit for when I'm working with stuff that's like indexed based sprites, which Delver does use. It's super useful. So 14 and 15. What I could do. So this start text and int text are hard coded. Say in the beam Java, the beam projectile, it's not. Yeah, it's not exposed at all. Hey, Wyleve. Yeah, no, I bounce around between pixel edit and Photoshop. Yeah. It seems like a lot of folks use Asprite these days, but yeah, I've used it occasionally. Depends on what I'm trying to do. I think I used it for manipulating palettes. If that's a thing you want to do, it's good at that. Oh goodness. Yeah, we're in the polish steps right now. Which is lots of work. I was trying to get a gun that shot beam projectiles yesterday, but I couldn't get it to render properly. So if you want to do a gun that shoots beam projectiles, can you do that? I know we have guns in the game. Like if you right click, we have a gun menu. Guns, and then you can place a gun wand, shotgun wand, auto gun wand, auto projectile wand. Probably the auto projectile wand is probably what you want. So do this and this and guns, and you probably want a auto projectile gun wand. Then you need to place ammo, and let's put a light in here so we can see what we're doing. Lights, ambient. Did I place it? Nope. Entity, lights. I got the light. Did I break something? Interesting. Get random weapon. Why was it calling get random weapon? Let's try that again. I was just using the editor the other day, so this is curious. If I just hit play. Uh-oh, Chad. Uh-oh, Chad. If melee contains key difficulty level 2 string. Let's see what's going on here. We're getting a looks like NRE. Hit play. Hit our breakpoint. So melee is null. Melee is item manager. So it looks like the item manager hasn't been initted yet. Why does this even make starting inventory, get item, okay, get random weapon. What has changed? That's curious. Let me pardon me. So this is item manager, which is, can I do something like git log, giving more unique item stats, bonus. cd engineer source com interrupt engineer. Where does this live? Up in managers and item manager. Okay. Clear list git log item manager. Git log, not log item manager. So it hasn't been changed in a while. Let me just pop over here to GitHub in the other window real quick and just kind of take a look at some of the most recent commits and see what's going on. Or what's been changed. That's just that's. Yeah, this is interesting. Yeah, there really haven't been any code changes. Yeah, a lot of JSON changes, but no code changes. Weird. Yeah. Let me try. Let me just try a rebuild. Rebuild project. Which makes me think that we broke the JSON, but I'm not sure if that's what's actually going on or not. Cool. It is nice that our build only takes 16 seconds, so that's a lovely thing. Bug and play. Is melee still null? Melee is null. Where is this set? Find usages. Make content. I think that's probably it. Maybe let's debug overlay. Merge. So this is we're merging items. Get random weapon, get weapon, find an item. This. So fill or run. Can I do a restart? Stop. Go. Oh, did I make changes in this that goofs it up? I think I did. I think I messed that up because that property doesn't exist on the spell, and it fails to load the JSON or this JSON, and then everything else dies. There we go. So now, yeah, there we go. Okay. Yeah. So if you mess up your JSON, the game will still load. But if you mess up the core JSON to Delver, it will not load, which I think is fair because if it can't load the core JSON stuff, then the game just isn't going to work. Okay, but back to what we were saying. Entity guns, projectile gun wand, and entity guns ammo, and entity lights ambient. Okay, play. You're able to grab this and grab that, and then it will shoot stuff. Let me see what properties are on this. Lots of gun feel stuff up here. I think it shoots a spell. I think that's where you need to set the to JSON. Yeah, so here on this this projectile, I think is where the this trail is added, maybe. Yeah, so let's take a look at this. Control A, Control C. Let's pop it open into, I guess, Sublime Text is a thing I can use. Control V, and this is JSON, so we can highlight it nicely. JavaScript, JSON, there we go. So it is a gun. It has a hit effect. It has a muzzle flash. It has a projectile, which is probably what we would worry about. So inside this projectile object, we have, so it looks like Chad just manually attached a sprite beam to the projectile, and he set the texture to 30. So in here, yeah, so this is texture 30 right here. You could change it to texture 14, for example, and you would then have the lightning stuff. If that makes sense. Okay. Okay, so I've been kind of, I guess, derailing myself, I guess. That's all right. Hopefully that helps out Shy Ragoon with whatever they're working on. I was thinking about trying to hook up something fancy for the beam spell. The beam spell creates a beam projectile. The beam projectile has hard-coded start and end texture for the animation. So what I could do is I could override that, right? I could do the beam spell has its own properties. So Shairu, if you look closely, I think what's happening is we have a magic missile projectile. So you have the sprite that faces the camera, and then we've also attached to it. So any entity could have an arbitrary number of entities attached. So we've attached a beam object to the magic missile projectile. So you have two things. You have one that faces the camera, and you have one that orients itself along the camera view. And I got that by just right clicking and doing a properties on the default gun wand, the auto gun or projectile wand. Would it be possible to make a ricochet wand that so projectiles fire from wand bounce? No, we don't have bouncy spells. You could, yeah. I don't think it's possible. Do cast scale, beam scale. So we could here beam scale like public int. Let me see this beam projectile. Is it int or integer? Is what we use up here for start text in text. So start text equals 14. Public int end text equals 15. Would we want to be able to set the atlas? this dot atlas. Yeah, we could set the sprite atlas. Since we're going crazy. So in beam here, public is atlas a string? I think. Yeah, just a string. String sprite atlas equals sprites is what it's called. And then beam scale projectile dot start text equals start text projectile dot intex equals intex projectile dot sprite atlas equals atlas. And what's going on in that constructor? Are we setting start text inside this constructor? We are. So we have to set also that as well. That should work. Let me run it just to make sure I haven't broken anything. So this should be for the this is just a beam. So go. And light. Okay, uniques, demon horn staff. There we go. That seems to be working. So let's test out setting it to something else. So if we look at pixel edit, it's doing 14 and 15. We could just do something silly, right? We could just have it, we could have it shoot, I mean the blood splatter, right? That'd be a thing, 16 and 17. So let's go to the items.dat for the demon horn staff. In this this beam spell, we want to say start text is 16 and end text 17. That's a thing, right? That should be the correct. Yeah, it'll look funky, but it should work. So if I hit play, K refresh, and then K uniques demon horn staff. Does that work? Yeah, it does. Cool. So now I can make a really quickly. I can just make a basic. Let's look at sprites. And I can extend this. I think what's the quickest way to do this? Electric sheep particles. What? I'm not even sure what that means. Let me just make this just a little bit bigger using our friend the crop tool. There we go. And I'm curious, like, I'm really thinking, like, is the animation even that noticeable? How's it implemented in Beam? Or beam projectile handles the start text and end text. It's probably on its tick. Animate timer minus equals delta. So animate timer, animate timer. What does that look like? Do we set the animate timer? Animate timer looks like 3 seconds. 3 seconds, or is it 3 milliseconds? I think this might be in terms of milliseconds, actually. Oh, gotcha. Yeah, because if we were to look at it from here, can we even see the darn thing animate is my next question. I mean, it should be full bright, so that should be fine. Play. Okay. Unique staff. Here we go. Not really. Kind of. So maybe I don't need to put a lot of too much work into it. The spell color has this color, so I can just make this like a lot of these things, just kind of a white color. I think this one implies that there's an orientation like so. The left is front, I guess. Let me just really quickly make like a really just gross and dirty fast spell effect, I guess. Let's go to pixel brush. Let's just pick, I guess, this dark value. Sure. And it's just going to be like, blah. Oh man. And then let's get a pixel eraser as well. A smaller one might be nice. And why can I not change the size of my brush? Do that. Oh, Photoshop, you and your ways. I'll turn off transfer. We want a nice hard pixel perfect thing going on here. Yep, sweet. Then let me just maybe pick this out in this color. Control, new layer, and then just really quickly, not too concernedly, pick this out here. And maybe add just a little bit of AA, but again, it's good. It's going to go by so fast you won't even really notice. So again, hopefully I don't have to, not going to spend a lot of time on it. Famous last words. And does it? Yes, Photoshop does cost me money every month. I have a CC subscription. Okay, let's call that good. Let me merge that down. Let me save it. Let's go into Pixel Edit. Let's re-import. Let's close this. Then File, Import. Let's just go Assets, Sprites. Yup. And then zoom in down here. This is the thing I'm worried about. And I really shouldn't be. Let's create a new animation. The animation tool and like that. Do this and hit play. Let's use the offset tool and kind of nudge this down a little bit because I didn't put it right in the middle. And let's just, I'm going to use the clone tool and just kind of do that. But I want to make this its own thing and not I don't want to reuse that one. And then let's go here. And really quickly, I'm just going to really quickly redraw this, I suppose. And this is, I'm going to keep it 2 frames, so it's going to be super rough. So I want to think about, like, what if I did something simple like this, where I said O, and then I offset it like this. Okay. And then I draw over here what I think the movement would look like. And then over here I erase. My erase, make it a circle shape, make it a little bit bigger. I thought it responded to, yeah, it is using the Photoshop keys. Okay, so cool. So like this one should continue here, get a little bit bigger. Like that, and then these should totally be like, I don't want it to be like, I don't want it to, mm-hmm. 2-frame animations are hard, especially when I'm trying to pack as much motion into it as I am. It may not actually work. Whatever. Okay, and then grab this white and quickly block in this here. That. Maybe pick out some of these. Yep, let's do just a tiny little bit of AA because my heart requires it. Make this darker. Let's go pick out this darker one. It might be too much. Yeah, there's not enough motion in that quite yet. And it might just be, you know, the fact that I only have 2 frames to work with, so oh well. I don't think I meant to erase there. Oh, Windows Ink, making my life hard. Okay, let's just see what that looks like, right? Let's just slap it on there, call it good. So file, export, image, browse, assets, rights, save, yes, save, yes. Let's go. Do you find it easier or to draw on stream or off stream? I am certainly way more like relaxed off stream. I find myself a little bit more. I don't know. Like I find myself like my anxiety is slightly higher on stream, but it's not like terrible. I try to work faster on stream, and whether that affects the quality of my work, I'm not entirely for certain. Hey, Remake XDD. Cool. So let's hook up. I think I already hooked it up, right? 41. Okay, let's go here. If I hit P and K and refresh, and then K, and then uniques and demon horn staff, and if I shoot that, you can't even tell. I can't even tell if I have it hooked up the correct direction either. That's the other thing. So good enough, I suppose. Can I change the beam projectile speed just because I'm being really super vain right now? Beam speed times speed. Float speed is 0.9f. I could expose the speed as well. Public float speed equals 0.9f. Sure. And then I could just comment that out. I can do. I think I have to actually do a rebuild. Well, let me see. If I do Control Shift F9, can I hot patch it? I cannot. Cool. Do I watch a lot of tutorials? Of course. I'm constantly watching tutorials on all sorts of things, everything from art to programming. The other day I was watching how to do woodblock cuts. I'm constantly I'm learning French right now. I'm trying to always improve and expand myself. So yeah, constantly. I like watching how other people work and think and trying to glean from that what I can. Of course, like watching tutorials is great, but you also have to put it into practice for it to actually make any if you want it to be actually useful to you, you have to practice it and figure out what works and what does not work for you. Yeah, I love also I like watching I like watching people make maps and stuff. That's also interesting to me. So now I could say here speed is equal to say 0.01, and then PK refresh K uniques demon horn staff, and can I? Oh, it's so slow. But yeah, so that is facing the correct direction. Yeah, that's perfect. Nice. Yeah, and to be honest, in game, they are so fast, you can't really even tell, and they're stretched so much, you just can't tell. So I'm gonna call it good enough. I can delete that property because I can just use the default one, and for the modders, it's there if you want it. Would it be possible to have the wand leave floating mines? Maybe. I guess if you set the speed to 0, that would be a thing, right? PK Okay, refresh. Okay, uniques, demon staff. I'm just worried that I would. Interesting. It does not like speed 0. Yeah, maybe it just gets cleaned up. It'd make it really, really slow. How does that behave? Maybe if the speed gets set to 0, we assume that it's collided with something and needs to get cleaned up. I'm not entirely for certain on the behavior of that. I did not do the implementation. It also looks like the beam length is also dependent on the speed as well. Yeah, but I'm just going to leave that as it was. Okay, refresh. Also, beware if you crank up the speed too high. We try to do, I think we do line traces, but I've noticed sometimes if you crank the speed too high, it still clips through stuff, so you got to be careful about that. Uniques, Demon Horn Staff. Cool. Good enough. Map making. If you watch like the first like 3 months of this series, I'm mostly making maps. Yeah, I think at some point in time, I crossed like the 200-hour mark on my Delver stream count, which is a lot of hours of me working on Delver. Yeah, let's just call that good. Let me just reopen it just to make sure I didn't blow it. I shouldn't have changed the sprites. Yeah, cool. So we have a flamey effect. If you want to throw that on stuff, you can. It's not super great, but it should do the job. Okay, so yeah, it's on the bows. Yeah, if you crank up the range, because so the bow on the bow you change the range of a bow, and that determines how fast the arrow is shot. So if you make the range too far on a bow, the arrow travels so fast. Yeah, it just does kind of teleport. I think we do line traces, but I think at a certain point it just gets really like it just doesn't work. And we've mostly just kind of tuned it for the values that we expect. Status, get status. Items, sprites, and beam. Perfect. Whoa, hey Chad. Yeah, this is so Cuttigan is the other person working on Delver. Yeah, so what I did, Chad, is I created a new sprite for the demon horn beam. So we have a little flamey thing that we attach instead of this this lightning bolts. We attach this little flamey flame thing. I exposed a few properties on beam, so you could change the start text, end text, and the atlas of the beam if that's your jam. Do I assign the? Yeah, I do assign the atlas. Cool. And yeah, then I hooked it up to the demon horn staff, which is pretty cool. Let me just entities, lights, and play, and okay, and uniques, and here we go. Ooh, did I hit that on my fall? That's interesting. Yeah, so I mean, you really can't tell too much, but it is different than the lightning bolt. But now folks can also hook up different textures to beam stuff now if they want. The demon is probably mad about being turned into a staff. Yeah, probably is. Let's do a git add dot git commit dash m polishing up demon staff fx go. All right, I have 5 minutes left. Where did the time go? But yeah, so let me just play a little bit, talk about Delver, and then I have to run because I do have work to do. For those of you who don't know, Delver is not my full-time gig. I am doing contract work, so I got work to do after this. But let's play Delver, talk Delver in this last few minutes you have left. So feel free to ask me questions, comments, concerns, feedback, etc. Earlier today, Chad put out a tweet. I retweeted it. That if you are a streamer and you dig Delver, please let us know. We'd love to hook you up with the final update before we release, so you can stream it. So yeah, so just let us know. And like if you're not a huge streamer, or because like I think Twitch. I've attended a few talks aimed at developers, and they classify a mid-tier streamer as the most valuable streamer a developer should target, and those are streamers with 300 concurrents or more. But I'm here to say that if you have less than 300 concurrent viewers, it's totally fine. Just if you're passionate about Delver and you want to stream it and you want to help us show off what we're working on, we'd love to have you help us out. We'll hook you up with a copy of 1.0 before we release. Oh, where's the old doggo? Hey, doggo, let's do it. Woof. In real life, Samson did not bark, so that makes his implementation easy because that dog does not bark. That dog is based off of Samson. Okay, cool. Yes, let's blow myself up. That is what's going to happen with this, or I can blow the door up. Yeah. Again, I should probably nerf that. I keep saying it, I never do it, so. Yeah. Cool. Defense. Oh man, the game really wants me to suicide by explosion. Is what I'm getting from that. Oh man, I got the whole red slime thing going on. Can I kill him? Nope. Oh. Oh. Cool. There we are. Oh, so Bluestone is echoing his requests to Chad. I think folks are asking for an options menu during the gameplay. I don't know if there's design goals against that, or if there's technical goals we didn't do that. I don't know. Yeah, I took damage from that. Ooh, slime meat. Lovely, lovely. Yep, keep adding defense. There we go. That's not the exit. Where is the exit? This way, I think. So yeah, sounds like we have technical debt. So it might not be possible because of that, or it might not be worth it at this point in time. Yeah, that's an honest answer. Yeah, I mean, like this project did not start off as a commercial project, so a lot of the decisions, it's one thing to have a project and you say, oh, this is going to be, like a thing that we sell in stores or on store places, and like we're going to have actual players. But a lot of times when you start projects, you don't assume that anybody will ever play. Oh, nice. Does this person drop arrows and a bow? Or is it just like a happy circumstance that happened? Do the stat upgrades have help text? Yes, they do. Guy is asking, what is happening right now? I am playing. Actually, I'm out of time, so I was just playing for the last 5 minutes and talking through some stuff, having people ask questions. Ooh, magic sword. Glowing fine iron sword. Yeah, let's get rid of this old dagger. Yeah! Grab the sword. This guy's sneaking up on me. Sneaky, sneaky. Take your gold. Yeah. Yeah. So if I were to level up, yeah, the cards have their description text underneath each of the cards now, and also on the inventory screen, there's a character sheet, and the character sheet you can now you can hover over stuff and it'll tell you what the attack stat does, what the defense stat does. All these little things now have things that give you explanation as to what they do. So it's a little less mystery meat, or we relied less on you understanding all the conventions of an RPG. So you can press C to get your character sheet on the keyboard, or you saw how I navigated to it with this little tab here. I don't know if these tabs are super clear what they're meant to be, but it works for now. Cool. All right, so I think I am out of time. So thank you everybody for hanging out and watching me work and asking good questions. I am Joshua. Cutting in there in chat is the other person who's working on Delver. Again, we work on this in our free time, our spare time, or part-time. When we would normally be hanging out with friends and family, we are working on Delver, trying to make the best game that we can with no time and no budget. We appreciate all the support the community has given us. We are pushing hard to get to 1.0 release. You can follow me here on Twitch, on Twitter at Joshua Skelly. I am an affiliate, so if you want to throw that sub my way, that would be awesome. I consider it like a tip jar, so if you find what I do entertaining or educational, or you just want to see more of it, please consider subscribing. I have 9 lovely, handsome, what's another good adjective? Benevolent subscribers. In no particular order, they are Louis Carl Actual, Neil Slichter, Fifth Elephant, Nix Rod, A Literal Train, Smith, Dr. Kegel, Glass Casket TV, and Codrake. Thank you so much for supporting me. And I think that's it. I think everybody take care. There's a community Discord if that's your jam, where I talk about the different things I work on. Each channel lines up to a project I have worked on in the past or I'm currently working on, so feel free to pop over there and talk more in general. That's it. I will see you tomorrow. Have a good rest of your day, and take care.